Hey guys, Kuba here again from Cactus Sound, and today we are going to talk about Ace Studio 2.0 because guys from Ace Studio reached out to me and asked if I want to make a video review and test new features in Ace Studio. I did a review of the first Ace Studio, which you can find on my channel. That was a video about making music with AI, like session players in Logic or AI generated vocals in Ace Studio. So time passed by, Ace Studio made some enhancements and upgrades in their tool, and today I want to show you what's inside the new Ace Studio 2.0. What's most fun to me and most useful, I guess, is the whole AI stuff built into Ace Studio. So you can add a layer of instrument, you can enhance your music, your sketch, or you can create a whole song based on your prompt. So it's a kinda Suno-like stuff, but it's inside DAW of some sort, so you have like more control over what you're doing, and that's okay. That's fine. I used it many times when I was doing musical sketches. I needed an idea, or I just wanted someone else to look at my piece of music from different perspectives. And that's okay. That's fine. It works. Today I'm gonna show you one of the possible scenarios. So let's assume that I got a job to make a quick cinematic music for fantasy game, but the producer has no time and no money to work with professional musicians to compose it as it should be done. So let's say we have a day to make an epic song from scratch. And the guys from Ace Studio wanted me to test their new strings, so my idea was to create very simple sketch of strings playing chords and a French horn playing some sort of lead melody. Very simple, not ideal in any terms, in a harmonic or whatever. After the sketch is done, we're gonna play with some AI tools built into Ace Studio and see if we can create a whole epic fantasy song in one day, or 1 hour, or 10 minutes. Let's see. Here we are in Ace Studio. As you can see, it's just a simply looking DAW of some sort with tracks, simple effects built in, and basic control over what you are doing here. This is my sketch, MIDI tracks of violins, strings, ensemble, and French horn. Additionally, I've got MIDI printed to audio because AI Instruments works here in real time, so every change in MIDI pattern or every move of the MIDI block needs new generation, which takes time, can be annoying. So when I was sure that I have what I wanted, I just printed it within Ace Studio, do an audio clip to save time. So let's listen to the first part, which is violin from Ace Studio. And that's a pretty sounding violin part. You can choose between different articulations here, but as AI pretends to be smart, I always choose smart articulations here in Ace Studio. Let the AI be smart, let it make us surprised with its outcome. Now let's go to strings ensemble with basses and cellos too. Voila! And now French horn. You can hear now that the sketch is very simple. I am making room for AI to create something epic from my idea. What I want to keep is this melody played by French horn and maybe some of the chords played by strings. But I am open to AI making it differently based on my sketch. Let's listen to the whole part with all the instruments together to get the full picture of the sketch. One of the new features here is adding an AI-generated layer of an instrument based on your selection and prompt you provide. I tried doing drums, woodwind lick and additional brass section to spice up the main melody. Assuming it's a sketch, the quality of AI-generated parts is okay. They can act like another sketches to use or get inspired. They're not perfect at all, but they are staying in the style I wanted to achieve. Now, let's listen to all of it together. Okay, not bad, not amazing, but it's starting to sound like a song. It has few instruments playing, it's got some epic AI-generated drums, and so on. Now, the trickiest part, which is making it actually usable as a standalone song or a fully completed sketch. From my experience, AI-generated music works for me more often as an inspiration, which I can use to create or finish my ideas later with live instruments, musicians, or virtual instruments. Now in Ace Studio, you can use the enhance function, which takes your audio from the project and follows your prompt to generate, as it says, enhanced version of your music, in my case, a sketch. Here's what I got. That's nice, it sounds bad, but it has its moments which I can get inspired by. Let's move on to the second option, because you always get two generations. This one's much better in terms of sound and composition. I can definitely use some parts of it after using Stem Splitter in Ace Studio, or even try to push this one as a final song. Ace Studio gives you opportunities and options to create, enhance, add and work on your music. You don't always have to take everything it gives you, but it's nice to have this type of tool beside to move your work forward. Okay, so that's the new Ace Studio. And that's what you can do inside it. There are plenty of videos about people using Ace Studio, so you can watch different videos to see different perspectives, different approach, different pieces of music. But in general, I think it's quite useful tool to help you when you're stuck or when you don't have that much musical theory in your head to, push the project further. It's AI, and you can hear that's AI, that's obvious. You don't need to use the whole piece it created. You can use layers, you can split the generations into stems, you can use just, a chunk of what's generated in Ace Studio. So if you're not happy with the whole outcome, you have options. And that's okay. For me, I've used AI a few times. I play guitar, but AI played a better solo, so I used AI-generated solo. I'm not good at programming strings or brasses, so sometimes AI helps me to get an idea I can use, or I just use the AI-generated part. And I personally like using the chunks of AI-generated music than the whole piece, because it's still sometimes, most of the times, feel artificial. And I think it's more okay to treat it as a sample or loop, just like using sample packs or Splice or any different tools or libraries. So I feel better when I don't use the whole AI-generated music in the final project or as a final song. I know there's a discussion about AI-generated music. Not everybody likes it. I personally treat it like a tool, as a little helper, as a musician, some sort of, or a composer sitting right next to me and giving me some ideas. Like I said, I tend to use pieces of AI-generated music than the whole generations, because I feel better that way. But that's me. It's up to you. If you want, go check new Ace Studio, play with the new strings, new brasses, with all the new AI stuff built inside. and let me know in the comments if that works for you, if you like it. If you like that video, leave a like, of course. The comment section is yours. Say whatever you want. Hopefully nice stuff. And if you're not subscribed, just click the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time soon.